Hello and welcome to episode 24 of CTL Crushing Through Life podcast with Rob and Jim. Check us out on YouTube. Go to YouTube, hit the search bar at the top, type in Crushing Through Life. Then you hit the enter key on your keyboard. We'll be up there in the results. Click our channel, click subscribe, and you'll be getting amazing video content from our podcast if you're a fan of us. It is June 22nd, 2021, and as always, let's start off with today's quote. You are never too old to set a new goal or to dream a new dream. That quote is from C.S. Lewis, who is a British author. He is best known for his works of fiction, especially the Screwtape Letters, the Chronicles of Narnia, and the Space Trilogy. He was also friends with a fellow novelist, J.R.R. Tolkien, whom you might be familiar with, the writer of Lord of the Rings.
There's the Lord of the Rings poster at the back.
Absolutely. They were very close friends.
Did you ever read any of those?
I've read The Hobbit. I haven't read the rest of the Lord of the Rings. But I'm actually wanting to rewatch them again, and my wife is like,
it's a commitment.
I don't know if I could do,
especially now because if you're gonna go through it, you may as well do like the special edition. And each movie's like 3.5 hours long. I mean, the fourth one I'm pretty sure is 4 hours long. I was such a big Lord of the Rings fan when it came out. I remember seeing the trailer and thinking this is because I was into, knights and medieval, anything, sort of like that, castles and cathedrals and that kind of thing.
Right.
So I saw the trailer, like this is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. And then I saw it in theater and I thought, probably it's about the same thing. It's the best movie ever. And I must have seen it maybe 4 or 5 times in the theater. And then I bought the VHS, and then I bought the DVD, like the special edition DVD, where it's like,
right.
here's 40 minutes of behind the scenes content. It's always the same thing. And then I bought once all of them were done, I bought the 3 special edition DVDs, like the extended cuts with all the deleted scenes. And it was really cool, some of the stuff, because I also read the books after I had seen the first one in the theater. So there's a lot of stuff that they leave out, and they actually did shoot that. They just couldn't film it in there.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. I remember seeing Fellowship with my mom and my dad. They took me to go see it, and I really wanted to go check it out too, because at the time I was totally into medieval themes, especially at a younger age. I was playing a lot of MMORPGs, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. I loved games like EverQuest, the very medieval type theme type of game. And I was just so into it. So I wanted to go check out this movie, and my mom, my dad took me to see it. I remember halfway through the movie, I look over and my mom's just passed out.
Man, the first time I saw it in theaters was with my uncle Dave for sure, probably his wife. Maybe my sister and a couple of their kids, depending on when year it came out. And I think my Uncle Dave had already seen it because he was a big fan.
Right.
And he fell asleep and was snoring in the theater. Not because it was boring, just I don't know why, he just passed out. But I'm like, how can you fall asleep during this movie? First of all, it's amazing. Second of all, it's so loud. You got to just be right. You got to be so tired, I think, to fall asleep.
Yeah.
What about?
I was so jacked to see that movie too. I definitely am a fan, but I haven't seen those special editions, those extended movies. So I'm excited to watch them. Terry, my wife, she's not as excited before, but she's like, you know what? I'm older now. I'm more mature. I think I might. I like watching. Oh my goodness.
Game of Thrones?
Thank you. Game of Thrones. Wow, I can't believe that name escaped me. Game of Thrones. So now I think I might like watching Lord of the Rings and appreciate it more, appreciate the acting and the story more and all that. So I got the extended version. So I haven't set a date yet to watch it, but I know it's some movies are 3 hours. One's 4 hours. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that the the shortest one is just barely 3.5, and then it's 340, and then the last one it might be like 4 hours and 10 minutes long. It's like it's insane. Did you ever did you ever watch or read any of the Narnia?
No. I've watched the Narnia, but I haven't read any of the novels.
Yeah. So we I think I used to go see them with my cousins on my dad's side. Like every year at Christmas time, we would go see a movie on Christmas Day. And it was kind of like, it started, just randomly became a tradition.
That's a great tradition.
It was really cool because
that's pretty sweet.
Once we were old enough to drive, we could just go all of ourselves. We did see some tearjerkers. I remember all my cousins just bawling their eyes out of Marley and Me. Just a great holiday flick. If no one knows, it's about a dog who like passes it through.
Don't spoil the movie.
Okay, well,
that came out years ago.
It's very, very sad. Everyone was, and they all my cousins. I think my sister and I were the only like people in the family, besides maybe my cousin Aaron, that didn't own a dog at some point. So like it really hits home, I guess. And some parts of these movies hit home. Anyways, we went to see at least one of the Narnias, but I feel like we saw a couple of them. So it was kind of special just to associate like Narnia with family and that kind of thing. I always did feel like Narnia was more on the younger side, like at least the way they did the movies. I never read the book, so I shouldn't comment on that. But with Lord of the Rings, it seemed like a more, I don't know, adult version, and the Narnia seemed more juvenile. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Just through the movies, it just seemed like, I mean, obviously there's 4 kids in Narnia versus like 9 different, people in the fellowship going on. So.
That's pretty sweet, man. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to check it out. I think now I want to get more into some like classic movies. A lot of movies I haven't watched yet that I downloaded.
E.T.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm writing that down because here, I'm going to just open up a quick notepad here and type that out. E.T. Right. Okay, good. Okay.
You've seen The Princess Bride?
Yes, I've seen The Princess Bride. Fantastic movie. Right at the end. It was very, very nice. Yeah.
The opposite cry of Marley and Me.
I don't want to spoil the end of Princess Bride, but that end quote really, really struck a chord with me in terms of family and all that. But yeah, anyways, I grabbed a bunch of movies. I grabbed Heat. I grabbed Escape from New York. You ever watched Escape from New York?
I don't think so. Who's in that?
It is. I'm so bad with names. I apologize. I have to go.
That guy from The Thing.
I just watched it too.
Heat is quite good.
Heat, yeah. Snake Pills. Kurt Russell.
Okay. No, I have not seen. I haven't seen too many movies with Kurt Russell in it, to be honest. So we have we bought a new, it's kind of a funny story because we had an old 42-inch TV and before COVID happened, we're like, let's buy a new TV, before it was even a thing. And we bought it and we were so happy that we did because we are finally getting a chance to watch, we had a better source of entertainment. We have a bigger 65-inch TV with 4K and all that. So we're watching all these 4K movies. And I'm starting to watch all these movies I haven't seen. I downloaded there's Hamilton, Total Recall, Basic Instinct. I've never seen Basic Instinct. I've never seen Heat. Jaws. I haven't seen Jaws. You have not seen Jaws?
Yeah, I've never seen Jaws.
I said on a different episode how no matter what, if I'm still in a pool to this day, there's a shark. The Jaws is behind me. It's I got to get my feet out of the water as soon as possible.
Yeah. And I downloaded the original Star Wars. There's actually a 4K remake that a bunch of fans have made from the original 70 millimeter film, which is a really, really cool project. If anyone's a big Star Wars fan, Google Star Wars 4K 77. And what they did was they grabbed the original 70 millimeter film, 35 millimeter film, and upscaled it using AI technology to 4K resolution and cleaned up frame by frame like all the artifacts and stuff from the reel. And
That's
it took
really
like
cool.
a bunch of years, and it was a big group effort. So yeah, check that out. The Goonies. I haven't seen the Goonies. Anyways, yeah, bunch of movies I gotta watch.
It seems like you missed a bunch when you were kind of growing up, because for me, all the ones that you had listed were movies that I would have seen before I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And it all depends, right? Because you would have seen stuff that I didn't see, and that's why before, when I've asked you that movie gap question, you mentioned E.T. and the Goonies. Like for me, those ones weren't ones that I missed, but then I've missed. Like I also haven't seen Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Like Citizen Kane. I haven't seen Citizen Kane. I don't know if you've seen it.
I had to watch
the best film of all time.
Oh, depends.
Depends on who you talk to. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends because. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the highest rated films, but the Godfathers are up there. Actually, Jaws is usually up there.
Yeah. So, what I told Terry, I haven't seen. I was going through a list of like 100 best films to watch, and Jaws was in there, and I'm laughing with Terry, like, yeah, I haven't seen Jaws. It's like exact same reaction as you. You haven't seen Jaws, so that's on the list too, along with E.T. I'll add that to the list.
I would say, depending on your mood, E.T.'s more of a family flick.
Yeah, I'll watch it during the day, something like that. Nico will know what's going on. He'll just play with something else. But yeah, I've got so much stuff going on, man. It's even hard to find time to watch movies these days. I've been studying for more. Well, I've been not studying, but I've been participating in more IT security courses with our Microsoft Azure cloud product that we have at work. And we ended up having some vouchers that Microsoft provided for us for free for training that were actually expiring at the end of the month. And we just discovered that a month and a half ago. Like they're like, hey, you got these 20 training vouchers that you haven't used yet. You should probably use them before this expiry date. So we had no idea about them until now. Mm-hmm. So we just like booked courses like crazy in our department. So I did 3 courses so far, including the one from Seneca. And man, my head is just, there's just so much to learn in terms of their whole new security infrastructure with their cloud environment. Tons of security attacks are happening every day with big corporations all the time, data breaches, phishing attempts, malware, all these preventative measures that are now being considered throughout the whole corporate landscape that I need to learn in my role to protect our environment. So it's a lot of information, man. And at the end of the day, I got this huge pounding headache. And then, of course, after the course is done, you have to do the labs. And after the lab's done, you have to read the book and then study for the exam. All right. So there's all these things that I'm doing. And then on top of all that, I'm trying to, spend time with the kiddo, spend time working out, exercising, relaxing time.
Well, don't forget the 11 hours of Lord of the Rings that you have to watch.
Of course. But what was really nice was we had a great day for Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the...
Yes, happy Father's Day to everyone out there who did celebrate. Hope you had a great Father's Day. We ended up going to my parents' house and going for a swim. And what was really cool about this particular swim, and I'm sure if you recall our previous episode, we talked about Nicolo swimming. My dad actually took it up, or took it upon himself to take off his like floating device, like his like little floaties that they put on the arm and strapped against their chest, so you can like basically not worry too much about him. He can float around and kick and swim and all that. He took it upon himself to take it off in the shallow end off the stairs, and kind of drag him into the pool. And he was finally starting to like let go a little bit and like bob up and down, like just by himself. Like obviously my dad was hovering, and it was so cool to like see that moment in front of me on Father's Day. It was like the two things combined. It was just like seeing my son and my dad going through some like training lessons, like swimming lessons, but seeing him actually enjoy himself, trying something new for the very first time. But not out of a swimming comfort zone for sure, right? Right, but like being outside of that whole scenario where my son is like enjoying something new, and he's experiencing something new, and he's experiencing joy. But I can step back and I can relax and I can visually see that in front of me. It's a different thing. If I was doing the training, if I was like teaching how to swim and all that, and I was physically doing it, yeah, I'm sure it'd be fun and be rewarding. But it's a different setting when you kind of step back and you're kind of just, leaning against the pool wall and you're just watching that whole thing happen.
Well, you're watching your dad on Father's Day teach your son who you're the father of. So I can get it, man. That's got to be really cool. It was a very special day. The weather must have been great for it because, great day for a swim. It was really nice where I was the whole time. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool experience because you would have, you probably see him learn and grow every day. But there's something about water that's, water's obviously dangerous. Like you have to be very careful about it no matter what your age is. So
right.
There's something cool as well that he trusts his grandfather, to be like, maybe I don't want to do, like I could picture myself being, I don't think I'm ready. But your grandpa says like, no, you're ready. And then you just do it and you're like, hey, that's, Dad, look what I did with grandpa, kind of thing. So pretty cool. It's
definitely a rip the Band-Aid off type of moment where it's just like, no, you're doing this. I don't care. And I definitely had that a lot with my son, but seeing that in front of me was pretty cool. And of course, seeing him advance into swimming at a young age right now, or again, he hasn't done any swimming lessons and all that. It's cool, definitely important, and this weekend I also helped my friends Jess and Josh move. They actually moved from Toronto to where you are in Hamilton, and helped Josh unload the truck and all that. And I must say, it was very, very cool seeing these guys purchase their very first house, because I've seen them rent and work hard to provide a good life for their daughter. And to see them actually like move into their very first home, like it kind of took me back as well. I was like, man, this is such a cool experience and moment for you guys. I hope that one day I get to experience that same thing, where I get my very first house, not rented anymore and all that. So happy for them. And it was also awesome because they provided the proverbial pizza and beer, as you always should if your friends are helping you move. If your friends are helping you move and there's no pizza or no beer, you're not doing it right. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah, it seems pretty standard. So hold on, let me get this straight though. You were in Hamilton for the first time in how long? And we do a podcast. Let's say hypothetically that you do a podcast with your friend, right?
Yes.
You're a good pal. You haven't seen him since last summer.
Hypothetically,
of course, yeah. And you're in the city that he lives, which is a bit of a drive. It's not like, next door. And you don't even message him to be like, what are you doing, pal? You want to stop by for some pizza and beer? Or invite yourself over for some pizza and beer.
So
that happened a couple days ago, did it? Is that what you're talking about?
Great hypothetical question. In fact, when I was finished moving, my cousin Julian, who I am in a chat group with, ended up sending a picture of ribs, nice freshly cooked ribs off of a barbecue, with his buddy Marco, that I'm also friends with, whom I know also lives in Hamilton. So I ended up going, whoa, you guys are in Hamilton, or whoa, Julian, you're in Hamilton right now? Like, he ended up calling me and sent me the address. The address was 4 minutes away from Jess and Josh's house.
Oh, no way.
And they had a whole feast prepared. To which I think I also messaged you on WhatsApp saying, hey, what's your address? Because Marco wanted to know, and he wanted to be friends with you. And I think you responded the very next day.
Oh, he wanted to be friends with me? I thought we were pals after all these years. I met him like 10 years ago.
He's like, what's He's like, what's Jim's address? I need friends down here.
Yeah, definitely send him my number, or Marco, if you're listening, then shoot
but
me a
I
message.
should, you know what? You're absolutely right, though. I 100% should have called you and at least talk to you and let you know that I was there, or stop by for a quick few minutes before this feast that occurred. But you know what? They had ribs, man. No, I'm just joking.
I can't compete with the ribs.
I honestly felt. So they invited me over after knowing that I was in Hamilton, and I told them that I was there, and I didn't want to like push because of the situation. Like, I don't know how many people they want over their house. Like, hey, do you mind if I invite Jim? So it was all those things combined. But I'm sorry, buddy. I apologize. I should have at least stopped by and said hi. I did not.
It's all good. And you know what? Like, I wouldn't want to push that upon anybody either, right? So I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in this time. Good news, though. I think we can, as of tomorrow, Justin, I can book the vaccine for dose 2, even though we just got ours. Hasn't even been.
That's right.
I think we got ours on May 28th. So like we're barely over 3 weeks, but I mean, feels good that it could just be so much sooner. And I think I maybe said on the podcast, like, for how quick they were in there and efficient, it just seemed that there's no way my next one was going to be September.
Right.
There's just no way. I thought it was going to be August, July, if lucky. I said, well, probably will be July, but I was thinking, late July. My original thought was if Jess and I can have our first one by June, I would be happy. And here it is, we're on the doorstep of number 2.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Cool. The other thing that kind of sucked about all that too, like visiting these people, I mean, obviously it was so nice to do so, but it was like, we had to go through that question. Like, hey, I got my first dose. Does everyone have their first dose? You got to do that whole thing, that whole song and dance as well, because you want to be respectful and like let people know that at least you have the first vaccine. Is it okay if I come over?
Was this on the Saturday as well?
Yeah.
So even more so, a lot of people are going to see Sunday, or sorry, a lot of people are going to see their fathers, grandfathers, extended family on the Sunday. So just to be respectful for that as well. So I can get it, and to be fair, I may have declined anyways going to Marco's if there are going to be a lot of people. And I was like, Jess and I saw our nephew for the second time since he was born in March. So maybe I would have taken a little more precaution with for sure with that, but who knows.
But definitely, I think once we do get that second shot, buddy, which is happening obviously this week, we can start booking it. I'm coming down to see it for sure, and maybe we can finally do an episode together.
Let's face it, Robbie, we've heard these threats before. Yeah, no, okay. I was actually thinking it. When you were talking about it, it would be really cool to record an episode in person. In the same room and all this stuff, because it's been a lot of fun. Actually, I was thinking about it today. This is episode 24. When did we start? Do you remember what the date of the first episode was? Because we might be over or close to a year now. Right? Yeah,
that's that's a really good.
The year anniversary would be pretty cool, especially if we're both got the double vax. The year anniversary of CTL, and we
April 1st. Oh wait, that's when we released everything. July 20th.
Okay,
it was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. We started recording.
June 20th or July 20th?
July 20th. Oh, sorry, it's June.
There's so many months of the year that start with J. To
my brain,
defense here.
Listen. My brain is so fried and scrambled from learning so much technology. It's crazy. I can't even think about regular stuff. Like even an actor that played
an unfamous actor like Kurt Russell. Yeah, he hasn't been too much stuff,
But yeah, I mean, and of course, on top of that, working on this podcast, I actually started working on a little bit of a WordPress site. So possible.com might be happening in the future. So we'll see what happens there. And man, web design is totally not my thing. Oh my God. It's so like tedious compared to figuring out how to video edit and how to audio edit and upload a podcast and create descriptions and all that, blah, blah, blah. Social media marketing. Web design is totally not my thing. I'm not a web designer. I loathe it.
I think I had in one of my university classes, I had an assignment to do, and it was, designing a website for something specific. And I may have just been trying to do like back when we were in a band, I can't remember if this was in high school or university. Anyways, so I forget what the topic of what the website was, but I had a couple of things in there and it was not great. It definitely wasn't my cup of tea. I honestly had no interest in it. And I remember coming to you and saying like, oh, my buddy Rob knows computers. Like I'm going to need some help. And you were, all right, let's see what you got here. And then you just looked at it and you were like, oh my God, this is so much work. Like you just weren't ready for the amount of help that I needed. I mean, we ended up getting it done, but yeah, it was a long time ago. That's
amazing. I can't believe you remember stuff like that so well. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, let's crack this book open here. And it was like, oh boy.
So how was your weekend, buddy? How was your Father's Day?
So it was pretty good. Like I said, we went to my like Jess's family. So my in-laws, they are members of the Mimico Boat Club, or I think that's what it's called. And so we went there, and
awesome.
we could get 2 tables because you still max of 4 per table. And I was under the shade the whole time, except my arms must have been out on the outside of these chairs. So I didn't bring enough sunscreen, and they're not they're not bad now, but Jess got destroyed, and she never burns. She usually puts something on, I think, because she's a lot into skincare, so she just knows about this kind of thing. Right. She is so red.
Poor girl.
Yes, it's on fire. Been trying to put lotion on her, but it's that kind of thing where it feels good once it's on, but while you're like putting it on, it stings because it's kind of, I don't know. So anyways, but besides the sun, yeah, it was great to see, see family, and we see we see her parents a decent amount of time. But definitely not, my brother, sister-in-law, and their 2 sons now, especially the younger one. It's only the second time we've seen him since he's been born, which is in March. And the other son, I think, is only a month and a half older than your son. So like they're both 4. So pretty cool. And we ate there. We hung around for a bit. Went on their boat. We didn't take it out, but just went on. It was so hot, and it's pretty crammed in there for all of us, so we wouldn't even fit. But then
this is like after just
eating.
had her sunscreen or sunburn.
I mean, this is like how she got it. We were just there the whole day.
This is how you? Right? Oh, so, she got it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay. we were probably there for 3.5 plus hours. So definitely enough to really.
But you were fine. You didn't get a sunburn.
Because my wife knows me very well. We didn't bring, I put sunscreen on before we left, but we didn't really bring much. It was like, oh, that was it. Kind of, yeah. I don't know why. And not really expecting where we were going to be, I guess. Maybe expecting more shade. And so she, every time there was an opportunity, would put me in the shade to protect my face, my arms, whatever. And because she doesn't really burn too much, so she would take the side with all the sun, and that she doesn't regret it. But I feel a little bit guilty because you're
helping her out. You're helping out a little bit. You're putting the lotion on the skin. I am. Your buffalo billow.
I am. So and she said to me, she's like, "You go through this every summer?" And like I'm like every summer. There's at one point in time where I get a burn. I really, really try to take care of myself. I get made fun of a ton of, which is, I get made fun of for protecting my life by friends. Yeah, what are you doing here? Because they just don't believe that I put on that much sunscreen.
Yeah,
but I definitely do. I think my uncle, when I was in California, speaking of probably the last bad burn I got. I stranded in California one night with a car that had a flat tire, and they couldn't fix the tire. So, but it was perfect because my friends and we rented a car for 2 days, and the two friends that I was there with, they flew to LA, and I drove to visit my uncle in, I'm going to get it wrong, but Brentwood, maybe, somewhere around there. And I spent the whole day with him in his pool and with his wife and my cousin. And it was amazing. I had such a great time. It was just such a random thing that I'm so happy I took advantage of. And I think I put on sunscreen, and he's the kind of uncle that would give me a hard time. And I probably put it on. But the thing is that I'm just jumping right back in the pool. So if you don't wait, it just kind of washes off.
Right.
And my legs were fried, so red. And it was, and then like I have to wear shorts. So, and I actually drove, once the car was the tire was fixed, I drove it back to Vegas because we went to Napa for a friend's, birthday party. And that's when the tire popped, and we were like already driving for 8 hours, and then the tire like exploded. So anyways, we rented this car. I got to see my uncle. It was amazing. Great trip, but totally fried. So I know what Jess is going through, definitely, but it's been a while, I guess. And then, so after that, after the boat club, we drove up north to see my dad, which was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
shout out to Jim's dad, listener of the podcast.
Yep. Long time listener.
Fan since day one.
Yeah. So it was great to see him. And then, now it's weird, I guess, like having just given the shout out. But it's
sorry.
No, it's not, you don't need to apologize. I just mean it's going to sound like I'm sucking up, but it's really not. Like, part of the reason that it's just been so much, it's been really cool to have grown up. And, I even said this and Jess was there, and, he said it too. We're very happy with our relationship at the time. It's definitely a lot different than when I was 15 to maybe 21, 22. He even asked me a question the other day, and he was like, I hope there's, you don't feel pressured from me asking this. And I said, I don't think I felt pressure from you in 10 years, but I also think that, that's maybe longer. And part of that is, we do have just, great. I said, as long as we keep communicating, I don't think there's too many topics, or there's nothing we can't really at least discuss and understand that you feel that way and I feel this way. And a lot of time we agree on certain things, maybe not sports, but, there's certain things. And, anyways, yeah, it's, so it was really cool just to say, to say that out loud to my dad on Father's Day. And, first of all, to get to spend time with him and especially Jess, because, it's the same as Terry is, your parents' daughter now. Saying like Jess is, both my parents, when they get to see us, they're like, oh, I get to see my kids, and they, Jess is included in that, and it's really cool.
Right, right.
And
of course.
my in-laws do the same, So it's, it was a great day, and then, like honestly, a decent drive back in the nice weather, and Jess and I don't have a car anymore, so even just renting the car and blasting music and singing together is something that we don't get to do as much.
That's awesome.
I miss those times, man. It's a weird thing of just, I don't know. I've actually heard that when you're in a bad mood, and if you sing, it somehow helps you get out of that. I mean, it's not obviously not going to work. It's not going to work for everybody, but there's something to be said about it. Kind of distracts you, and for a second you just you start breathing normally, and you just relax, and it helps to take the stress off. But it's not that we were stressed, it's just a good time. I have a great time. We listen to music and whatever in the car. It's awesome.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that, because my wife today actually went to a dentist appointment to get a filling done, and Nico stayed home with me while I was working, and she came home and she was like, sorry, we were talking, she's like, sorry, my throat's sore. And I was singing really loudly in the car on the way home. It was just such a great time. She doesn't get that opportunity anymore, right? Right. She takes care of him day in, day out. She can't blast music. She can't blast her favorite tunes. She just belts out whatever. And like, she got that opportunity on the way to and back from the dentist, of course, with freezing in her mouth. So obviously a little bit more sore than normal.
And she was still doing it. That's how much fun it is.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a great way of it. It's a great stress relief for sure.
Do you remember when we were in high school, anytime we went to a concert, anytime if it was over a 40-minute drive, we used to play a game in the car. There's no real name for it. It was just, we'd put on, say, My iPod, and it would be the veto game. And so if there were 4 people in the car, you only got 1 veto for the whole car ride.
Great game.
But you could veto someone's veto and just spite veto them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you did that and somebody else, I'm pretty sure we had a 4-way spite veto one time where somebody
was
vetoed.
there a 4-way spite video?
There had to have been. Knowing us, there had to. I guarantee it was at least one. And then I think maybe Rocco would know better. Like, you know, it was like Rob Buckner, those guys. They were always around and always driving back in those days. And I think, or Capo for sure. Actually, Capo would just put on his own stuff. I don't know, because I can always picture him having a CD player, but never an aux cord. So, you know, it didn't really work. We would just listen to full albums with him.
Right.
But I know for, like, you know, my car, Greg Borges, Rocco's car, probably even Will's, I would guess like Ramsey's maybe. You know, all those guys, they used to have the aux cords. I think if we did like a 2-hour drive or a 3-hour drive, we might add in, you know, like 1 veto per hour.
Right.
And I remember sometimes, because Rocco did not like a lot of music that I liked. So he would just, oh no, when it was, you know, my iPod was selected, because he was just like, how am I only gonna have 1 veto here? Because it's all so bad. I can picture a particular song by by Copeland called Kite.
Okay.
Which is funny because last week you're talking about kites. That song is just, I think I even vetoed my own song. I felt so bad. But we did also used to allow communal vetoes once a trip as well, where if all 4 of us agreed, and then that was the spite non-commit or like fourth veto, someone in the car would be like, no, I like this one. It's only like 3 minutes long, but
yeah, definitely can't wait to play a game like that again on a long car ride. Maybe an Ottawa trip would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be the perfect scenario, right? It would be unreal. Sure. Yeah.
All right, buddy, we'll sign off for today. Tune us in next week and follow us and check us out on everything. And when I say everything, you can actually go to this really cool website, linktree.com/crushingthroughlife. If you go to linktree.com/crushingthroughlife, you have the links to everything. It's our entire link tree, so to speak, where you'll find all of our socials and everything that you can follow us. All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks
See
for
you
listening.
next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.